Hello class. So today we're going to be learning about the different instrument families and specifically the brass family. A book that we will be using to read and learn about the brass instruments is a book called The Story of the Orchestra by Robert Levine. Now here above me is a poster of different the different instrument families. And here, this first one is the brass family. It shows a picture of the different brass instruments, and it also gives a definition of what brass instruments are.
For my vocabulary strategy, I am using a matching game. This matching game consists of different instruments in the brass family, as well as some key components of each instrument to help students differentiate and remember each instrument. So students will be in groups of 3 or 4 depending on the class size, and they will work with each other to try to guess or turn over the right 2 cards that connect the term with a picture of the instrument or component of the instrument. I will be monitoring around the room to help the students grasp each term with the picture to make sure that they are comprehending each vocabulary term and also to make sure that they are selecting the right term with each picture. So students will simply go around the table and take turns turning over cards of an instrument or an instrument or a definition, and if they get it right, then they can leave it turned over and they'll say the term and the definition, and then they have a visual of what the term and definition look like. So this first one that turned over, the term is a bell, and the definition is a flared out end of an instrument. I turned over the end of a trumpet, and that is correct. It is a picture of the bell. Furthermore, they can keep turning over different cards and try to match them. Obviously, these two will not work because they are both definitions. So this is how I will approach my vocabulary strategies with my students.
Okay, so before we start to read, we're going to create a T-chart to help us figure out what instruments go with the brass family and what are examples of instruments that do not belong in the brass family. So you will each receive a piece of paper, and you are going to draw a T-chart as shown on the board right here. And you're going to help me find out or figure out what instruments belong in the brass family, so examples of instruments, and then also what are non-examples of instruments in the brass family. And it will be provided, or I will provide you with a word bank to help me figure out what instruments go inside the brass family. So, for example, one of you might say that the flute is not an example of an instrument in the brass family, so we will simply write flute in the non-example. And then another student might say that the tuba is in the brass family, so that is an example of an instrument in the brass family, so we'll put it under example. And then we will just fill out the chart with using all these instruments and fill out our T-chart. Okay, so as we are reading, each group will get a copy of the book that we are reading and also a study guide of the different sections. Each group will have its own section to read, as well as in the group there will be a reader a student that will be selected to read quietly to the group. So for group one, they will have the trumpet section. So the reader will read the 1 or 2 pages that is provided on the trumpet, and the students that are listening will help fill out the study guide of the questions that are provided. After the answer or the questions have been answered, we will go around the room to each group, and they will share their answers with the class, as well as an interesting fact that they have found out. I will be monitoring and walking around the room to help anyone that has questions, and to also make sure you are guided in the right direction. Before we conclude class today, I have a worksheet. I will pass out this worksheet, and you will complete this on your own. The worksheet looks like this. On the left side will be the name of a brass instrument that we talked about and learned today. And then on the right side is a picture that corresponds to the names on the opposite side. So you will need a pencil. You will draw a line from the name of the instrument to the correct picture of the brass instrument. Once you are finished, you will raise your hand, and I will come by to check your work and let you know if there's anything that needs to be corrected. Once you have got it correct to 100%, you will sit quietly until everybody is finished. And then that will conclude our lesson for today. Thanks.